The story of the missing Roanoke colony is one of the most intriguing and solved mysteries in American history. The colony, established by English settlers on Roanoke Island in present-day North Carolina, vanished without a trace in the late 16th century, leaving behind only cryptic clues that have puzzled historians, archaeologists, and researchers for centuries. The fate of the colony and its settlers remains a subject of fascination, speculation, and mystery, with numerous theories attempting to explain what happened. 1. Background. The birth of the Roanoke colony was part of a broader effort by England to establish a permanent presence in the New World during the Age of Exploration. In the late 1500s, England, under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, was eager to compete with Spain and other European powers for dominance in the Americas. English explorers, motivated by the prospects of wealth, resources, and the spread of Christianity, embarked on expeditions to the New World. Sir Walter Raleigh, an English nobleman and explorer, was granted a charter by Queen Elizabeth I to establish colonies in the Americas. In 1584, Raleigh sent an expedition to the eastern coast of North America, led by Philip Armadas and Arthur Barlow. The explorers landed on the shores of present-day North Carolina and made contact with the indigenous peoples of the region. They returned to England with glowing reports of the area's resources, including fertile land, timber, and the potential for trade with the native population. With this positive feedback, Raleigh decided to establish a permanent colony in the area. In 1585, he sent a group of settlers to Roanoke Island, led by Sir Richard Grenville. This first attempt at colonization, however, was fraught with difficulties. The settlers faced challenges including food shortages, hostile interactions with the local Native American tribes, and an inability to establish a sustainable foothold in the region. The colony ultimately failed, and in 1586, Grenville and the settlers returned to England. 2. The departure of John White. John White, the leader of the 1587 expedition, was an experienced artist and cartographer. He had previously accompanied Raleigh on a reconnaissance mission to the region and had made detailed maps of the coastline. He brought with him a group of 117 settlers, including men, women, and children. The settlers arrived on Roanoke Island in July 1587 and quickly set to work building homes and establishing a base of operations. White's leadership was marked by attempts to form peaceful relations with the local tribes. However, tensions were high due to the ongoing pressure from English settlers on the native populations, as well as the sporadic nature of trade and communication. The local tribes were initially cooperative, but grew increasingly wary of the newcomers' intentions. Despite these tensions, White believed that the colony could survive if it had the necessary supplies and support from England. To ensure the colony's long-term survival, White made the decision to return to England to secure more provisions. However, his departure was not an easy one. England was embroiled in conflicts with Spain, and White's voyage back was delayed. His journey to England would turn out to be much longer than anticipated. 3. The mysterious disappear. John White returned to England in 1587, but due to the ongoing Anglo-Spanish War and the impending threat of the Spanish Armada, he faced significant delays in securing the resources and ships necessary to return to Roanoke. The conflict with Spain dominated England's attention, and White's return was postponed for 3 years. In 1590, White was finally able to secure passage back to the New World. When he arrived at Roanoke Island, he was met with an unsettling sight. The colony was gone, the houses were abandoned, and there was no sign of the settlers. The only clue to their fate was the word Croatoan carved into a post, and the letters Crow etched into a nearby tree. White's search for answers proved fruitless. The nearby Croatoan Island, inhabited by a Native American tribe, was suggested as a possible location where the settlers might have relocated. However, White's attempts to investigate the island were thwarted by bad weather, and he was forced to return to England without ever finding the missing settlers. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony was a complete mystery. Despite White's efforts to uncover what had happened, the fate of the settlers remains unknown. The disappearance became a legend and a source of fascination for generations of Americans and historians alike. For theories surrounding the disappearance over the centuries, numerous theories have emerged to explain the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. Some are grounded in historical analysis, while others rely on speculation, folklore, and conjecture. While none of these theories have been definitively proven, they each provide a potential explanation for the colony's vanishing. 1. Native American involvement. One of the earliest and most widely accepted theories is that the settlers were either killed or captured by Native American tribes. The relationship between the English settlers and the indigenous peoples of the region was often strained. While some tribes were initially welcoming, others were hostile toward the newcomers. It is possible that the settlers were attacked by one of the more aggressive tribes, such as the Secauton or the Roanoke tribe, which led to their disappearance. In support of this theory, the carved word Croatoan found at the site of the abandoned colony has been interpreted as a sign of aggression or a warning. The Croatoan tribe, who lived on a nearby island, had a history of complicated interactions with the English settlers. It is possible that the word was a clue left by the settlers to indicate their relocation to Croatoan Island, or perhaps a distress signal that indicated something more sinister had occurred. 2. The colonists' relocation. Another theory suggests that the colonists abandoned Roanoke Island and moved to a different location voluntarily. Some historians believe that the settlers, facing mounting pressures such as food shortages, disease, and the inability to make contact with the outside world, decided to leave the island and relocate to a more hospitable region. The settlers may have attempted to blend into nearby Native American tribes, or even established a new settlement further inland. The word Croatoan carved into the post of the abandoned colony has been interpreted by some scholars as a clue that the settlers relocated to Croatoan Island. However, White's failure to find the settlers there has led many to question this theory. 4.3. Spanish attack. Another theory posits that the disappearance of the colony was the result of a Spanish attack. Spain and England were bitter rivals in the late 16th century, and the Spanish Empire had a strong presence in the Americas. The theory suggests that the Spanish may have discovered the Roanoke settlement and destroyed it as part of their efforts to eliminate English influence in the New World. While this theory is appealing to some, there is little direct evidence to support the idea that the Spanish were responsible for the disappearance. Furthermore, the Spanish would likely have left behind some trace of their actions, which was not found by White when he returned to the island. 4.4. Disease and starvation. Another plausible explanation is that the settlers succumbed to disease and starvation. The colony was established during a period of limited knowledge about survival in the New World. The settlers may have faced epidemics, such as dysentery or malaria, which could have decimated the population. Food shortages and the inability to establish reliable trade routes may have further exacerbated their situation. In the absence of direct evidence of disease or starvation, however, this theory remains speculative. 4.5. A lost colony of mixed ancestry. A more modern theory proposes that the missing colonists may have survived and integrated into the local Native American populations, eventually forming a mixed-race community. Archaeological evidence suggests that some Native American tribes in the region may have had European features, leading to the speculation that the Roanoke settlers may have intermarried with local tribes over time. Researchers have pointed to the presence of English-sounding surnames among some Native American communities in the region, as well as the discovery of artifacts with European origins. 5. The legacy of the Roanoke mystery. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and amateur sleuths. The mystery has inspired numerous books, documentaries, and even fictional works, cementing its place as one of the most enduring puzzles in American history. Despite centuries of research and speculation, the fate of the Roanoke settlers remains unknown. The clues left behind by the colonists, such as the carved word Croatoan, continue to tantalize those who seek to solve the mystery. The Roanoke colony's disappearance is a reminder of the perilous nature of early European exploration and colonization, as well as the complex interactions between settlers and indigenous peoples. While the mystery may never be fully solved, the story of the lost colony endures as a symbol of the dangers and uncertainties faced by early explorers in the Americas. It also serves as a reminder of the fragile nature of human settlement in unfamiliar and unforgiving environments.